Fate Extella guild. And yes, I am purposely saying guild instead of guide because there's a little whoopsies I've made when I first started this, and so I just decided to go and put guild as an homage to the very first one, to the very last one. So with that being said, yes, this is the last guild, and if you actually enjoyed watching these videos, and unfortunately all good things have to come to an end, and unfortunately this ends now. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've tried to, it was more than a pleasure that to, you know, share my knowledge to do these, guides for you guys. But, oof. Does it? It sucks not having to do these anymore. And after this, I'm probably going to do the makeup guides when I find an acceptable room. Probably against Soul Warrior, like always. Make up all the lost fights, and then from there, like, do the rankings, and then besides the basic PvP, I mean, we're done with this game. And yeah, so I mean, it's a little touching. I mean, it's a touching thing, and it sucks, but hey, kind of expected this to happen eventually anyway, so might as well, you know. I know I was, you know, it was one of those things that after doing it for months, now it's done. It sucks, I'll give it, but all good things do come to an end, so hey. So, yep, let's get on into this now. So, as you probably figured it out, our servant of the day is Altera. I think that's how you pronounce that, I think. Maybe. And that. So, lovely. So, I'm trying to pull up my the YouTube so I could read any last questions for these guides, so. Oof. But oops, not sports. Unfortunately, I mean, yes, I could technically buy the DLC variant of her and cover that as well. And I might, but initially, for all intents and purposes, for continuity reasons, this is the last one. Because I'm not going to anticipate a guide that's may or may not even going to take place. At all. So, although yes, with like Sony rewards, I may pay for the extra, you know, with the free money they give, I may buy that out and type deal. I'll get, and you know, use the free money kind of like it was a given free item to us, but in all retrospect, this is it. So yeah, but our final servant is a Saber servant with 1785 with a 1,500 defense. This is, and she's unnecessary to play as, actually. With how many sabers there are, she's the last one, and I'm like, holy shit. I am sick of saying sabers. But then again, I mean, it is what it is. And for all continuity reasons, I'm not changing the title, so don't even get on me with that. Like, at all. Like I said, an homage to the original, so. But, let's get into her active skills. Let me erase all these. Now, when I've played as her, for the most part, like, when I've seen her, for the most part, I think she's like the sub-boss, like, she's, like, the second to last one you face before you officially face off Rex. So, I'm assuming, and she's supposed to be, like, extremely powerful and stuff like that, despite, like, I'm not sure if she's an actual kid or whatever it may be, but she's really powerful, and I'm like, you know what, let's go and put that into retrospect and use that as I made her. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did here in this build. So I pretty much went for a full-blown pure offense build, like practically no defense at all, even if it's like it's a better choice. I'm like, with her, I just went all offense for once. And yeah, so with that, I decided to go for some of the strongest moves in the game while still being smart about it. Which, putting that into spec, she's also very high on elemental damage too. Like, Shit, she does a lot of elements. So, shit. And most of her attacks, so are pretty much you got 2 rush attacks, or 2 burst attacks, 2 close range attacks, an action restriction, strengthening skill, and then like just a little bit of that. But luckily though, I mean, at least it does come to some usage. So our first skill is going to be Icy Fingers, and because it has a 21.60 and a 10-second cooldown, you shoot off twin frost lasers and yeah, just 2 lasers that shoot out that freezes people. That's pretty much it. And does elemental frost damage. So I don't think it stops their opponent or freezes them like it's done, but I do think it slows them down. I'm not completely sure. I never paid too much attention because I'm always beating on them to not really see the effect. And I wasn't too exorbitant on it. I just want to go, rush them with power. And that's pretty much all this is. And due to her 1785 power and her low defense, I just also kind of took that into account, like, okay, she was given some low defense for a reason. Let's make sure that, give her some real good power. Like, just pretty much turn her into not like a cannon or a glass cannon, because a glass cannon can still hurt despite being broken. But I just want to give her, like, I turned her into a styrofoam cannon. And by that, I mean she could break real easily, but she could do a lot of damage at that same point. Although, yes, styrofoam isn't what you would think. Just the general gist, because styrofoam breaks really fucking easy. Like, really easily. If you can't, or a cardboard cannon or something like that. Something that destroys really easily. That's not glass, because glass can still hurt despite being destroyed. So, with that being said, we're going down to our next item, Surging Sword. Which pretty much all you're going to do is just do like 3 consecutive slashes. And this is a saber class skill, so whoopie-doopie-doo. And yeah, it's pretty much really simple with 27.64 damage with a 12-second cooldown. A little more power and a little more time than our last skill, but it works. Now we're actually going to add in the strengthening skill, the Fire Phenom, because yeah, the goals can give her more and more power. But what this is going to do is give you more range and gives off some hidden elemental fire damage as well, as the name implies. So this is definitely meant to go and it's just there to go and continuously keep the pressure on. The only difference is you're going to do it from more of a range than from close range. You're just going to have a tad bit more range to make it a little more mid-range while keeping up in a relentless assault on her. And it has no attack power, but then again, after the 26 guides that you may or may not have seen, you probably figured out that these strengthening skills has no power, if not 1 power attack. Yeah, like, kind of expected, but it's kind of like my job to tell you anyways, because that's my job. Well, it was my job, technically, but besides the point. But it also has a 25 seconds of cooldown, which is, again, very expected. Usually it's like a 30 to 45 seconds of cooldown, but this one's pretty generous of 25, so what's the harm done? Whew. Too much talking. And then, lastly, the rainbow, because, yeah, I'm not even going to pronounce the second part of that. I'm going to butcher it so bad. This is another close range saber attack, and I'm actually going to swap out my skill because I do like the Icy Fingers. It does do elemental, but I kind of overlooked the rush attack, which I will get to in a moment, because we all know my fixation with rush attacks. But the rainbow does 28.80 damage. Hot damn, is that a lot of power to have? I told you, this is literally here just to have massive amount of powers for no apparent damn reason. I made her just to hurt you. She's definitely more for assisting in the back lane instead of trying to, like, she's supposed to assist, and yeah, like, she's just there to help give a hand. Although easily defeated, who gives a shit? She's gonna hurt you. That's like the whole point. And again, much like the other two skills, this is like the last skill and the other skill before that, the icy fingers. Again, more power, more time. By 1 second of 13 seconds. Pretty much all you're gonna do is repeatedly smack your opponents at high speeds. And then you're probably gonna blow everything up, because yeah, that's how this game operates, is blowing shit up right after an attack, because it's an anime game. Everything blows up for no apparent damn reason. That's literally the whole thing. And for the replacement, because I kind of spaced the fact that it was a rush attack, and we all know my obsession with rush attacks, 26, guides in, that yes, this is definitely weaker than the icy fingers by, actually no, the same power. This is the same amount of power as the icy fingers, which is really good. The Sword of the War, same power. I think the only difference is the rush attack has 13 more seconds, or 3 more seconds of cooldown, making it 13 seconds. So yeah, there we go. That's it. Like, we have 13 seconds more, or 13 seconds instead of the 10 seconds. But all you're gonna do is rush forward, and then sweep everybody in the when you're done rushing forward. So every person you hit, you rush forward, drag them along, then you're gonna smack them with their sword. So it's considered like 2 attacks. So very fun to play with, and we all know my obsession with rush attacks anyways. And it's pretty simple, it's pretty basic for just pretty basic stuff. Next we're gonna do install skills, and yes, I know I've upped her bond, fuck you. And by now you should already know this is where we do the active skills, the defense, the supports, then when we're all done we go over the double skills. And what I would recommend putting on if you do have them, and what you don't have them, or if you don't have them. So yeah, our first skill is going to be Martial Blessing to increase our power even more, because hot damn, is that the point. I like having that power. We are not going to take Clairvoyance with us, even though yes, I do have something for a ranged attack. I just literally just bought, I just like having that strengthening skill just to do more damage. That's it. Because it does do a fire element, and yeah. And her skills do hold off a bit of elemental damage, so yeah, we don't really need it, although like that's the only reason why I'm taking in the strengthening skill. Otherwise I would have definitely took the attack skill, the Frost Fingers, but definitely gonna take the range in this scenario. So no need to add Clairvoyance, as you probably wanted to guess. So we're gonna also, oops, not fairies, no, fuck off. That goes away. We're pulling out fairies, or Spirit Slayer, increase attack power against enemy servants, because yeah, we're all power in this scenario. We're also going to add in Natural Body, because one thing I didn't show you is she does have Natural Body as a unique skill, so she gains even more power for it, which is actually really badass. So fun, really fun actually. And that's also going to up her power, and with her unique skill being Natural Body plus having a high amount of power, that's telling you she's meant to be a powerhouse. Whether the defense, if you were to want to put her in, balance her out, but based off of what the game was saying, I decided no, they meant her to be very much so a weak cannon, like a very strong firing but poor hit, like a very old cannon. Can still do a lot of damage, but is very easy to destroy. It's taken a lot, so not too good durability wise. So, but then we're gonna also add bravery into the mix to increase her power for more. So it's like she continues to fight, the more momentum, the better. And we're going to also give her magic resistance as an overall because she's really good with elemental, so of course I think, besides the fact that that's a bonus on her, is magic resistance, I'm like, if she's good with elemental, she should be able to resist that elemental shit. Because if you're a frost enemy, you should be able to resist the frost. You shouldn't get frozen while dealing with, freezing and everything. And then from there, we are not going to go and carry ourselves in Obstinate. But instead, we are in fact going to go over and grab us the Assassin or Saber Imperial Privileges. Both of them are very much the same thing. It's just, sometimes it's cooler to add, like, if I have, like, in some scenarios, although it don't do nothing too beneficial, especially in this scenario, it don't do nothing, it just adds the characteristics, and then, it's just going to increase the power of those things. Although the bonus is stronger, it's just a matter of how you want to look at it, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's just instead you're gonna just have an assassin symbol instead of a sword representing the the saber instead of the assassin. But in this case, we're actually going to have them both to increase our up close attacks even more. We're going to also finish this out entirely by going down to the mana recovery and gain your drive skill faster, so that you increase your so you could get drive skill, and when you get drive skill you could activate that even more, and then you should also be able to go and deal even more damage out for a short period of time, but get that back in a short period of time. So it's practically not always there, but there for a good part of the match if you want to keep it there and want to keep it going, or if you want to keep using your drive skill or whatever the reason may be, you constantly have it under your disposal. And with that, we have our basic install skill set, which is just the basic stuff. Like, this is what you have when you just first start off just when you're first starting off, no double skills to play with, or you're trying to get them up. This is definitely the build I recommend using. So, but next we're gonna go over the double skill build, which actually for once has more. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are to have more double skills than we will have with regular skills, because we're going to go over and we're going to replace our magic resistance with absolutely nothing. We are going to keep our magic resistance the way it is. I mean, you could change it, but I grab like institution or whatever, but there's no need for it. We are going to go and grab and replace the independent or the mana recovery with the mana recovery independent action, though, giving us even more of a bonus and all that. Actually, I'm going to replace my mana recover anyways, because better stat bonus. We're going to go over to the Imperial Rider and replace the Martial Blessing, because with this build we do have a rush attack skill, and we're gonna gain the bonuses for that, and we also gain the bonuses with Martial Blessing. Our natural body, we are replacing that with the Imperial Lancer, which is again another rush attack, but we're gaining more power. Which you're wondering, why don't you just replace the 2 Imperial Privileges with the 2 Imperial Privileges? You could in fact do that and gain like the clairvoyance, but ultimately it's not too useful. Bam. And it'll give you a huge bonus, and you're also still gonna get all the bonuses with that. Now, there won't be no harm if you changed it. It's just to prove it, because we do have that range attack. I'm gonna put it on anyways, because we do have a ranged skill, even though it's meant for fire. Let's add that anyways, and then Might as well just add the arms because, yeah, it's just a bonus skill and we're getting 27% more power. As you can see, this is literally just a powerhouse move set. No defense, nothing. So here is her original attire. And, like, very simple and probably very scandalous, and probably a lot of feminists actually probably have a problem. I mean, most likely have a problem with this because of how much skin it shows, but who gives a shit? I don't think it's too bad of a outfit, but I definitely prefer the Shooting Star Pilot King because it just looks much better, and it just looks much better. Although, yes, I mean, people probably still don't like the fact that her shirt's open or how it's like very dry fit, skin tight type deal. It's just a good looking outfit. I like the little details. I like how it's too much, like is enough but not too much. It looks like it could also be kind of like a military thing. It kind of looks like something Black Widow would look like. Then you also go and have the Head Nurse of Steel, which unfortunately I don't have because I don't have the last game. Yeah, so. Yep, that's pretty much the general gist of her outfits. I can't show you that. Although I do plan on getting the previous game. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to come back to the game to do a outfit comparison with all the outfits, but that is still to be determined. And now finally, the Mystic Code to go and bring with her is to go and be the stone, where was it? The Spirit Stone, because of her all-around abilities and then just gaining more power. Like, that's what this is just power, power, power. And the elementals it gives off for the install skills, so that's pretty much the general just of why we're having that. I need to switch her clothing again. For a moment it looked like they were censoring her ass. Could wife and wives mother my ass. See, Maiden of Destruction. Destruction generally don't mean anything good. Here is the Rainbow Slashes, the Rainbow skill. And she's very, like, she also deals a lot with light, so I'm not sure if you have problems with, like, if, like, strobing lights bothers you, then, yeah, this is definitely a character you should not play as. I'm gonna give you that fair warning. She is not the best character. As you can see, I did gain the Assassin bonuses, the Lancer, and the, other bonuses. Like I said, massive amount of power. And look at that, I got my drive skill. Like I said, really strong, very easily. It took no problem to take him, wipe these guys out, and they're around my level, so they have more than enough of a chance to take me down. Her drive skill, literally that just defeated nearly defeated everyone. And her Noble Phantasm. Like I said, she's very big on like flashing light, so if that really doesn't bug you, you really should not play as her. I know a lot of the others do something, but shit, this is as bad as strobe lights at times. Oh, she's still alive? Yeah, her Noble Phantasm isn't the strongest though. that is. This thing, I don't even think this took more than like. I don't even think that took more than like 3 minutes to beat them all. And then a fun little pose to beat them. Although they took more damage than I wanted still. Shut up. Here's Gondor. Why is he off my side missions? No, we are not to save current progress. Actually, we are finally going to save the current progress. Actually, no, I'm not going to save current progress yet. And as you've seen, that was a level 50, 150, that's level cap fighting 3 separate bosses at once. And she wiped them out in like 2 minutes, tops. She was meant to be powerhouse. That, like, she really did shrink down the time to this guy too. Like, I didn't even mean to rush her, it's just, that's how strong she is she took and literally wiped through the, a match that should have took about like 10 to 20 minutes, she did it in like 2 seconds. She is stronger than strong can get. Alright, let's search for the room, find that nobody's probably there. Create a room and wait as I go over the online portion of her skill set. As you can tell from yesterday, where I was playing in the fuck, what was it called? Just the PvP. As you can see, it's pretty much the same thing I said offline. The only difference is, instead of the Phenom, I decided to go with the Icy Fingers. Because online you're gonna, you know, I went with that just kind of as a tester for the online. But instead, for the online portion, I would go with the Surge of the Wind. Because online, it will stun them, and stunning enemies is much more effective online instead of offline. So, this does only 1 damage, but, I mean, stun moves never really are meant for powering. But the same set of skills, the only difference is instead of the boosting range, we just literally just boosted we're just changing it to a stun move. So when we do use our move set, it's going to just stun them. And then we could go and activate something like the Rainbow or the Surging Sword and slice through your opponent like butter. And there's nothing they can really do about it because, well, they're stuck in their spot and they're going to get hit with that. And it's probably going to kill them, actually. Which is goody funds for us. Bad for them, good for us. But that's the extent of her active skills. And then our final set, skill set 25. I feel like I'm missing one of these. Like, although yes, every, skill set's been properly taken out, the final skill set we will ever go over. Yeah. And for the final, like the finale of what we're gonna do, we are going to add in ourselves a good old natural body, just in case you need to wait for your recharge time. Our martial blessing, spirit slayer. What? It's not enough video to maintain smoothness. Fuck off. Stupid little, what is going on? What is this widget? Oh, buffering. Yeah, I kind of see that. Like, I have like everything opened up. Get the fuck off my screen. And our final item we're going to have is mana recovery. Very much like the offline portion. The only difference is we have no defense. She was meant to go offense, offense, offense. And I'm gonna fix this. Oops. Bam. and we're going to change off her Mystic Code for fighting. Like that's what it's gonna do, is we're switching to the Ceremonial Sword for more power. Like, she's meant to just power. That's it. Especially online, and then the outfit, that really don't matter. So I'm gonna wait here to go on and get my ass handed to me, because I always do. Like, I don't think I've ever, I mean, maybe a few fights in between, but yeah, I've almost always lost these fights. I hate waiting here. Yeah, because I'm not going to just wait here, because I am very impatient at times. I will actually go and see if there's not a quick match again, or see if there's not another room to play with. Because I could show you a battle with offline bots, but they're not useful. It's easy to beat the bots, not the enemy players. Enemy players are unpredictable, where the bots are much easier to predict. Oops. Ah, fuck you. I'm just gonna wait in the quick match then. That should keep everything fair. Yeah, some idiot stumbles along. So, if we can't find ourselves a new servant to get and beat my ass, this servant or this guide through, this would probably conclude the end of this guide. I'm gonna try to do a makeup guide as soon as possible for the servants who did not get to fight online against a live player, because like I said, you could easily go and learn the movements of a bot. I think I said that in my very first time I fought online, is you easily can learn their movements. Thus why a lot of people like playing online over offline, because humans are so much harder to fight, because humans you can't predict as easily. But with this, I mean, if we can't find a new member to fight us, we'll probably have ourselves a makeup guide within the next couple of days. I'm probably thinking, if it's not tomorrow, I'm probably going to say it's going to be Tuesday. And then, after considering everything, after taking and watching, or not watching, but playing as all 26 servants for their guides, I'm going to take, and as a wrap-up to the entire guides, I'm going to go and rank them all in my personal opinion. And if you don't like them, like my opinions, you also got to remember I've actually went and wasted my time to play and cover like 2-3 days worth of guides to help everybody else out who don't play as these characters. Like, not everyone does. Everyone just tends to play as their favorite characters, but for once, I actually chose to, there's no other guides out there to explain anything for you, so. Hot damn, how long does it take? Everyone complains you can't ever find a match, but when someone's actually waiting, you can't ever get one. Fuck them. I swear, people complain over nothing. But with everything, after playing as all 26 servants, and I wouldn't say master them, because you can't master online if you don't play it too much, because this is why you can't play it too much. Sure, you could go and play the bots a lot, but nah. But with this, I am going to have to go and probably say I'm not going to find nobody to play online. She's going to be in the makeups that I have to do. And yeah, so with that, guys, this has been the very last guide I've made. So it's satisfying to say I'm the only guy to have went over and cover off 26 servants and take an hour-ish upon each servant to go and cover them. Some of them went faster than others, and some of them took longer, but it was honestly it was really nice to get to go over everyone, share my knowledge with everyone else, and it'd be kind of cool to go and one day go up against somebody who's actually using my own guide against me. Like, that sounds like a lot of fun to see someone try to, possibly beat me with something recommended and seeing that my work wasn't exact, or the time I wasted wasn't an actual waste. So with that, I will see everybody in the next in the makeups for the guides, and I don't want to shut off this guide because this is the last one, but unfortunately all good things come to an end. Be good people. I'll see you in the finale of everything. I will see you down in the makeup guides where you will get to see Altera and a few others that I never got to face with, and I'll use them in the combat against human players. And then as soon as possible, I'm going to try to go and hit up the character rankings and tell you my personal opinion about everything. And before I actually leave, I am actually going to go over, and now that everything has been covered, as I am officially done with the game. Like, well, not done with the game, because I'm still going to play. I'm still doing PvP, don't get me wrong. We are going to go over, and as a way to just kind of, like, as my closing the book, done writing moment, I'm going to come back over to the mainframe story, go back to my character, like, my mainframe character, and yeah. So with everything being said, everyone, we're going back to where everything first started. Everything started in my room with the most annoying music in the background. And we're going over to my top, like, I'm going over, and I'm going to switch you out of your costume. I'm tired of seeing this. What the fuck do I have? What mystic code did I miss? Anyways, I know I got one, I think in, like, the Magna Rex. Which one did I miss? Where is it? Oh, it's a Saber Talisman. Good for me. But unfortunately, this is it, everyone. And this is going to conclude all our guides. And as you can see in my data, this was the last time I saved my game. It is off at November now, November 14th. It took 5 months to complete. And we are going to that's with me saving with my last, like, it took longer than a month actually to take care of these. The very first guide recorded was the Charlemagne guide, where I literally put together in a video and posted the video separately in multiple parts compared to before I streamed them, which was much better in my opinion. Now it don't matter because it's done. Gonzo. So the very first video I posted was May 23rd, and now we are done on May 15th, or November 15th, or 14th. We are to overwrite what was previously there. The last time I have ever saved on this, and I'm probably gonna ever need to save. Hot damn, it is awesome to finally go and see that gone, and to know that I'm done with these. So with everything done, said and done, this has been Retro. I'll see you in the makeups, and I'll go and do my rankings as soon as possible.